Welcome to you, my dear children. We are back in errors, correction of errors. You are getting back together with me to look at errors which affect the trial balance. All right, you are getting back together. We are getting back together to discuss the rest of the errors which affect the trial balance. All right, I hope you remember everything that we did in the previous sessions with the suspense account. Yeah, I hope you remember. You better remember. Otherwise you can't continue with these errors. All right, okay. So this is the second error, children. Second error which out of the errors which affect the trial balance. Yeah, out of the errors which affect the trial balance, this is the second one. All right, what is it? Let's see. It says making one of the double entries with the correct value. Making one of the double entries with the correct value and the other entry with an incorrect value. What sort of an error is it? It is an error, of course, children. It is an error. There's no doubt about that. It is a critical error. All right. Just think of it. Making one entry with the correct value. All right. So let's use another color. For the correct value, we'll use blue. Yeah, that's better. For the correct value, we will use blue. Okay. One entry, that means the debit entry or the credit entry is done with the correct value. All right. One of the entries, either the debit entry or the credit entry is having the correct value. Let's say the debit entry is having the correct value. If this is having the correct value, let's say 1000, the bookkeeper has gone and entered 2000 in the credit side of the other account, an incorrect value, or 1000 in the debit side for the transaction, but in the credit side maybe he has entered, let's say 100, 10 less. Of course it will affect the trial balance, isn't it? Of course it will affect the trial balance. Right? Critical error. So this type of an error, children, should be corrected by us. Yeah, most definitely should be corrected. And we are going to learn how to correct these type of errors. Okay, so making one of the double entries with the correct value but the other entry with the incorrect value. Okay, right, it's better if we can take an example straight away, isn't it? It's better if we can take an example. Let's take an example. Shall we take the same example given here? Shall we take the same example? We'll take the same example and we'll take our own example to make it clearer. Okay. Right. So children, I'm going to use red color to show you the incorrect value just to make it clear to you, okay? And we'll get to the example straight away. Example, cash sales 54,000 has been debited. Debited 54,000, no problem in that. Debit entry is correct, okay? No problem in that, right? It has been debited in the cash book correctly. Debited in the cash book, 54,000 is debited. But it has been credited as 45,000 in the sales account. So sales account is wrong. Now you understand, right? Now you understand. Of course, simple thing. Just a debit entry and a credit entry. But the debit entry is having one value, but the credit entry is having a different value. Alright, so of course the trial balance will not balance. It's going to tip out of balance. Oh, it's going to be there's going to be a shortage in the credit side because 54,000 has been debited, but 45 only has been credited. See, so in the credit side 10,000 less. That is the error here, okay? Isn't it? Yeah, that is it. That is it. Yeah. Let's read out the text, children. It explains the error. There's no need of like going into so much of this type of a content, but just because it is given, we can go through it. Here the sales account has been credited less of rupees 9,000. Oh yeah, that's it. That is it. My mistake. Not 10,000. Credit side is 9,000 less. 9,000. See, for 54,000 and 45,000. The difference is 9,000. My bad. Okay, no worries. It's not 10,000 less. It's only 9,000 less. 9,000. All right. Here the sales account has been credited less rupees 9,000. 9,000. All right. Due to the crediting of 9,000 less in the sales account. Yeah. Due to crediting 9,000 less in the sales account. Total of the credit column of the trial balance. Total of the credit column. Total of the credit column of the trial balance is 9,000 short. Will be 9,000 short. See, less means short. Yeah. That is what you should understand. Okay. And a balance of 9,000 would appear in the suspense account. What do we do when the trial balance is short? What do you do? If the trial balance, if you prepare, just think that you prepared the trial balance. Just you think, only for an example, that you prepared. Okay, you prepared. Okay, and the trial balance you prepared is not balancing. It's not balancing. What do you do? Tell me, what do you do? What else? You go to the trial balance and you try to get the difference of the debit and credit sides. You get the difference of the debit and credit sides. If the debit side is like up here and the credit side is somewhere here, the trial balance is not balancing. You should put the shortage to the side which is less and balance the trial balance. That is what you do if the trial balance is not balancing. But if your credit side is lower, if the credit side is having a lesser total, and the debit side is having a higher total, when you try to find out the shortage in the credit side, you have to calculate the shortage in the credit side. When you calculated the shortage in the credit side, you put that shortage and you bring the credit side also to be equal with the debit side, right? And now the debit side is having the same balance as the credit side. Credit side is having the same total addition as the debit side. But when you are calculating the shortage, when you calculated the shortage, how do you put that shortage to the credit side? How? How to enter the shortage? You enter the shortage with the description. What? Yes, that's right. You enter the shortage to the the lesser side, saying, as the description, what do you say? Suspense account. That is what they have explained here, right? So, if the total of credit column of the trial balance is 9,000 less, it is 9,000 less, a balance of 9,000 would go to the credit side of the suspense account. You got it now? Did you get it? Yeah? No? Yeah, okay, good. Right. It would appear in the suspense account because that 9,000 shortage that you enter to the trial balance, if the debit side is up here and the credit side is somewhere down here, if the credit side is short, when you enter that shortage to the credit side, you have to mention suspense account and put the shortage, the value which is short. And after you put the value which is short to the side which is lesser, to the credit side, that value, you name it as suspense account. For that suspense account, you must draw the suspense account and put that value to that account. It's just a T account. We learned about these things in the previous session, all right? If you don't understand, children, refer the previous video. To correct the error, the suspense account should be debited with 9,000. Okay. Now this is the next step, correcting the error. This is the next step. You must find out the error, and this is the error. This is our error now. Okay, this is our error. When you find out the error, usually the error is given, children. The error will be given to you. Likewise, like this, the error will be given to you. Yeah. When you get the error, when you have the error at hand, what you do is you correct it. Yeah, that's what you do. You correct it. Correcting is done by entering a double entry. You enter a double entry. That is called the rectifying entry or correction entry. Okay. So when you correct this error with a double entry, of course, the account which is having the wrong value will be corrected. This account that is having the wrong value, lesser value, will be corrected. plus after you enter this entry, the correction entry, to correct this account, there is no other place to enter a double entry. So the second entry, the double entry, goes to the suspense account. That's what we discussed in the previous video. Yeah, we did these things. Yeah, to correct the error, the suspense account should be debited with 9,000. All right, let's see. I'm gonna draw some accounts, 2 accounts. Actually, we need only 2 to show you this error and how to correct this error. All right, this is the first account. This is the second account. There you go, 2 accounts. Let's get this error. Cash sales of 54,000 has been debited in the cash book correctly. Cash sales of 54,000. First step when you correct errors. First step, identify the correct double entry of the transaction. You get it to your heads. You get the correct double entry to your head. First step is that. What is the correct double entry of this transaction? This is the transaction, children. Cash sales 54,000. That is the transaction. Cash sales. Cash sales 54,000. This is the transaction. From here, this is the transaction. Cash sales 54,000. Get the correct double entry to your head first. That is the first step. What is the correct double entry? Goods sold. Goods sold to customers. And cash received. Cash received. That means the cash book should be debited. Sales account should be credited. That is the correct double entry. Cash, debit, sales, credit. Okay. That is the first step. Second step, children, the second step is identify the error which has happened. 54,000 has been debited in the cash book correctly. That means in the cash book, debit entry is correct. This is correct. Credit entry is wrong. Credit entry is wrong because it is lesser. 54, instead of 54,000, here they have entered 45,000. So it is lesser. Okay. This side. That is the error. Let's see. This is the cash book. This is the cash book or cash account. The double entry, the second entry goes to the sales account. Okay, sales account. This is the 2 accounts that you need to record this transaction. Cash book debit 54,000 and sales account credit 54,000. This is the entry which is correct, which should be entered. This is the entry, double entry, which should be entered. Here, this is also correct, this is also correct, but what has gone wrong? Cash book is correctly entered, incorrectly entered in the sales account. Here, 54,000 is not entered. it is incorrect because they have entered 45,000. Now this is the error. You got it? This is the error. Okay. Let's enter 45 here. This is the error. Now it's easy. Now the second step also done. First step is identifying the transaction. You identified the transaction, identified the correct double entry of the transaction. Got it. Second step, identified the error. We did that also. We identified the error. Third step is correcting the error or entering the entry, recording the entry to correct the error. Now what is the entry that should be recorded to correct this error? It's simple now, children. This entry is correct, this entry is wrong. Yeah, what is the mistake? What is the wrong thing here? It's lesser. Credit side is lesser, less. How much? 9,000. 9,000 is less. So you enter that 9,000 here. Right? That's it. You enter that 9,000 here to the credit side. Now the error is corrected. Error is corrected with this 9,000. But you entered only one entry. Sales account. You entered sales account, credit side. You entered sales account, credit side, 9,000. Where is the double entry? There should be a debit entry, right? Here there's nothing wrong, so you can't debit anything here. Where do you debit this 9,000? To the suspense account. Yeah, that's it. That's what I have been explaining so far until this point of time. The suspense account is the next account, right? Sales account credit 9,000, suspense account debit 9,000. Let's see. Here you go. Sales account credit 9,000, suspense account debit 9,000. That is the double entry to correct this. Alright, children. So now you learned how to correct this type of an error. What type? This type of an error when one entry is entered with the wrong value. Yeah. All right. So let's see what's on the other side. We have the next error. But I want you to do one more example, one more error of the same kind. From the same kind, I want you to do one more error. All right, I'll give you one more error. One more example. Okay. Example. Here we had a cash sale. I'm gonna give you let's say a check received from a debtor. Check received from a debtor. of rupees, check is for rupees 30,000. The check we received was a 30,000 check, 30. Okay. Has been entered. Now the error has been entered as 80,000. Has been entered as 80,000. Wow, that is a big difference. But that has happened, all right. It has been entered as 80,000 in the debtors account. Now this is the error. This is the error. I want you to correct this error. I want you to correct it. Can you? Can you? Let's see. Now children, to the first step. What is the first step? Identifying the correct double entry of the transaction. Identify the transaction. What is the transaction? I'm going to write the steps here. All right, I'm going to write the steps here. First step, to correct errors. To correct errors. First step. Now it's clear to you. First step. First step. Identify the transaction. Identify the transaction. And double entry. Identify the transaction and double entry. Identify the transaction and double entry, okay? First step. Second step. Second step. Second step. Identify the error. Identify the error which has occurred. Which has occurred. Let's do these two first, shall we? Let's do these two steps first. Occurred. These two steps first, all right? Identify the transaction. What is the transaction? This is the transaction, children. A check received from a debtor. This is the transaction. Check received from a debtor. This is the transaction. A check received from a debtor, 30,000. Transaction is that. Check received from a debtor. Now the double entry. What is the double entry? I'll show you the double entry. I'll show you the double entry in the relevant accounts. This is the double entry now. First entry, second entry. First entry here for first account, and this is the second account. Okay. Right. Now the double entry, I'm going to show you the double entry in these accounts. A check received from a debtor 30,000. If that is the transaction, children, double entry should be bank account debit or the bank book debit, debtors account credit, debtors account credit. This is the double entry that should be entered for this transaction. For this transaction, check received from a debtor 30,000. 30,000 bank debit, 30,000 debtors account credit. This should be the correct double entry. This should be the correct double entry. Now, the first step you identified. Okay. Second step, identify the error which has occurred. What is the error? Error is in red color here. It is given in red color. I gave you in red color just for you to understand. It has been entered as 80,000. Where? In the debtors account. Debtors account only they have entered as 80,000. Sometimes the bookkeeper was not in his, he was not having a, he was not in the right mind maybe. So he entered 80 by mistake to the debtors account. Here is the error. Here is the error, is the place that error has occurred. Instead of 30, the bookkeeper has entered 80. This is the error. Okay. Third step, children. Third step is correcting the error. First step is done. Second step is done. Third step is correcting the error. Third step. How do you correct? How? Yeah, you enter an entry, you record an entry to correct the place where error has occurred, right? To correct this place. What sort of an entry should you enter? What? Of course, if the error is in the credit side, this has been entered as 80, that is the error. It should be 30, but it has been entered as 80. How much is excess here? How much is entered, excess? Vadipura. How much is entered? 50,000 is excess here. 50 is excess. Right? 50 is excess. In this side, 50 is excess. So what do you do to take out 50 from the credit side? You should take out 50. You debit 50. You debit 50. That's it. So you figured out the error and you corrected the error with one entry, 50,000 debit to the debtors account. That is one entry. 50,000 debit to the debtors account. When you balance this debtors account, of course, what's going to happen? when you balance it, children, 80,000 which is in this side, from the 80,000 which is in the credit side, that is the wrong amount. From that, this 50 will be subtracted and the balance carried down will be 30. That is the correct amount which should be in the debtors account. So with your debit entry, you corrected the debtors account with this entry. With this entry, you corrected the debtors account. What is the entry? Debit the debtors account 50. But that is only one. Where is the other entry? You debit the debtors account 50. That's right here. Credit which account? Credit to which account? There's no account to credit because only here, only in this account, you had the error. Only in this account you had the error. Now it is corrected. Debit the debtors account. Credit this 50 to suspense account. That is the account which should be credited. Suspense account credit. That is how you correct this type of an error, children. An error as such, an error like this. One entry of the double entry is correctly recorded, but the other entry is recorded with the wrong value. Now you corrected it. Okay, I hope you got it. This is as much as explanation you need to understand this type of an error. I can't explain it anymore. You get what I'm saying, right? All right. So let's go to the next error. Recording of the double entries of a transaction in the same side. Oh, another error, which is, it can come on your face like that if not corrected. If you are the bookkeeper, if you made this error, this could, come back on your face. Because you have entered the transaction, the double entry, in the same side of both accounts. Debit to one account, credit to other account? No. Debit to that account also. Will it affect the trial balance? Of course, it will affect the trial balance. Okay, let's take the example straight away. Both the entries of a transaction may have been entered in the same side of both accounts. Yeah, same side of the two accounts. In error. In error. Of course, it is an error. What else? It is an error, of course. In error. Yeah. Taking an example, we'll figure out this. Cash received from a debtor, 5,000, has been debited to both the cash and debtors account. Now, let's go step by step and solve this problem, shall we? Good. This is the error. Cash received from the debtor, 5,000. That is the transaction. What is the first step, children? What is the first step when you correct errors? Tell me the first step. I'm asking you. You. Yeah. Tell me. Yeah? Identifying the transaction. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Good. Identifying the transaction and double entry. So let's get to the first step. First things first, of course. Identifying the transaction, cash received from a data. Cash received from a data. 5,000. That is the transaction, right? So first step done. First step done. Identifying the transaction, we are done with it. Okay. This is the transaction. That's it. That is the transaction. Second step, actually first step is not done because we have to identify the transaction and identify the double entry. First step is identifying the transaction and identifying the double entry. We only identified the transaction. We only identified the transaction. What is the double entry? Tell me. You tell me. Cash received 5,000 from a data. Can you see it? Cash received from a data, 5,000. Cash received. That's right. Cash book debit. Debtors account credit. Cash debit, debtors credit. Okay. Is that right? Cash debit, debtors credit. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Cash debit, debtors credit. I'm going to draw the two T accounts for cash and debtors. This is the first T account. This is the second T account. Cash and debtors. Cash debit 5, debtors credit 5. This is the correct double entry. Okay, correct one. Cash debit, debtors credit 5. Now second step. What is the second step? Second step is what? Applying paint? No. Applying a suitable color on the accounts? No. Second step is, children, identifying the error where error has occurred. Okay, that is the second step. Identifying the error where error has occurred. Where has the error occurred? That is the second step. Where has the error occurred? Error has occurred here. Switching sides like a politician. Switching sides from this side to this side and again to this side. Don't mind it. I'm just doing it for you to make your for you to see it better. Now tell me where the error has occurred. Where the error has occurred? Cash received from a debtor 5,000 has been debited to both cash book and the debtors. Oh, all right. This is a really serious one. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Cash received from a debtor 5,000. So we know that cash should be debit, debtors account should be credit 5,000. Okay. But where the error has occurred? It has been debited to both cash book and debtors account. Wow. All right. Now instead of crediting, they have debited the debtors account. 2. Aha. Okay. Debit here and debit here. Both accounts debit. Wow. Of course, that is a serious error. Now, nothing in the credit side. Nothing in the credit side. Both accounts debited. Okay. All right. Now, tell me, children, you tell me, what do we do to correct this? Now, this side is correct. You know that this side is correct. No? This side is okay. This side is wrong. What do you do to correct this error? That is where the error exists. This is the place where the error has occurred. What do you do to correct this? Tell me. You tell me. No, you. Yeah, you. Yes. Tell me. Okay. If the debtors account is debited incorrectly, I mean, if this 5,000 which was debited, if it is incorrect, what do you do to correct it? What do you do to remove this? You credit 5. Credit 5. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, it's done. Is that all? You credit 5 to the debtors account. Yeah, what else to do? Yeah, of course. If the debtors account is incorrectly debited and this debit side 5 is, if it is wrong, you should remove it. Removing is done in this manner, in this way. If the debit side is having 5, that should be removed. You credit 5, then this will be removed. This 5 will be cut off to this 5. Yeah. So it's done. It's done. Children, it's not done. No. You missed something. You missed a little part. What did you miss? If you credit 5,000 here, this 5 will be cut off to this 5 and there will be nothing in the debtors account. Nothing remaining in the debtors account. You got it? You get it. Now only you really understood. Yeah? Yeah, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. If you credit 5, this 5 will be cut off to this 5 and nothing will be remaining in the debtors account when it is balanced. 0. 0. So what do you do? What do you do? The correct double entry is, children, the correct double entry is cash debit 5, debtors account credit 5. Error which occurred. What is the error happened? Which happened? Cash was debited correctly. Debtors account should be credited, but that one also was debited. Yeah, it should be credited. So to correct this error, what do? You credit 10. Credit 10,000. Then when this account is balanced, children, when this account is balanced, when you balance this account, 10 is the greater total, and 10 is in the sum box, and this 5, when this 5 is deducted, balance will be 5. The balance remaining will be 5. Here the balance remaining will be 5 because 10 minus 5 is 5. That is the balance, remaining balance carried down, and it will be brought forward to this side, and 5 is okay now in the credit side. 5 is there in the credit side. That is the balance brought forward. When you brought forward, when you put the brought forward, the balance brought forward, it'll be 5, and now the debtors account is having 5 in the credit side, so it's correct. Yeah, all right. No need to go that far. What did you do to correct this error? What did you do to correct this error? What did you do? You credited 10. Credited 10. That is one entry. Where do you debit this 10 now? There should be a double entry for every error. When you correct every error, there should be a double entry. You credited 10. Where should be the debit entry? Here? Here? No. This is correct. You can't touch this account. Cash account is correctly, entered with the correct amount. You credited 10 to debtors account. Where do you debit to suspense? Yeah. Credit, debtors account, debit, suspense account. Yeah. Let's go and see. There you go. Credit to debtors account, debit to suspense account. 10,000, 10. You see the 10? Yeah. So children, remember this point. Important point. When you correct an error as such, when you correct an error as this one, when you correct an error like this error, if the error is recording the double entry of a transaction in the same side of both accounts, if that is the error, remember children, if the transaction is entered in the same side of both accounts, debit side of the cash and debit side of the debtors account, because the debtors account should be credited, it should be credited with double that value. It should be credited with double the value. Oops. Double the value, okay? Should be credited with double. Yeah. So children, that's how you correct when the double entry is entered in the same side of both accounts. The account which is having the wrong entry, which means the account which should be credited, if it is debited by mistake, the correction entry should be done with double the value. Okay, that's it. Too much explanation. I'm doing this like I'm teaching a lower grade every time I tell you that, right? If you can't understand these explanations, I don't know how to make you understand, children, my dear students. I hope everything is crystal clear to you. That's what I want. All right. So, children, as it is explained here, the textbook also, it has been explained, but let's not go through that because too much explaining, right? Now the double entry is, as you can see, is on the board. This is how you write the double entry. Suspense debit, debtors account credit, 10,000. That is double the amount, double the value. Okay. This is the third error which affect the trial balance. Now we have corrected. So children, we did 3 errors which affect the trial balance, and I explained these errors like I explained how to fly without wings. Can you explain somebody how to fly without wings? Of course. Of course. Why not? You don't need wings to fly. Now there are ample ways to fly without wings. Right, children. This is not the end of the chapter. We have not one actually. We have 2 more errors, children. 2 more. Right? First error, we took omission of 1 entry. That was done in the previous video. Second error we did today, that is this one, making one of the double entries with the correct value and the other with the wrong value. We did today. And third error is this, recording the both entries in the same side of both accounts. Same side of both accounts, right? We did that in a very descriptive manner. So the next one is this one, that is the 4th error which affect the trial balance. Errors which arise when balancing of accounts. Let's discuss this in the next video, the next chapter. So I hope everything that we did today is clear to you, children. Yeah, let's hope for the best. Your exam is very, very close by. It's coming closer and closer, right? O-Level 2021, that will be conducted in 2022, in this year, in a few months' time. So you should be ready. That's why I always say, do your work, be good, work hard, play harder, and don't forget to practice your accounts. Do the past papers. We'll be doing some past papers for these grade 10 lessons in the coming sessions, in the coming videos. Until then, children, we'll look at this error in the next chapter, and we can finish off this lesson. So thank you very much for getting together with me today. I hope to see you soon. Thank you.